Wait, stop. Before you buy another piece of camera gear, you need to watch this video. So let's jump right in. What is up, y'all? It's Project Photography back with another video, and today, before we get started, make sure you follow all the socials down in the description bar below. But in our photography community, we have one main addiction, and that's that we love to buy new camera gear. And I totally get it because it's really fun, it's really sexy when you get that new piece of gear that you get to show off to all your friends and just enjoy using as a tool for creative purposes. I mean, we can just do so much with different types of lenses and gear. But I'm a strong advocate for buying less gear than you necessarily have to, because when it comes to photography, there's only a few things that really matter, and that's something we're definitely gonna be talking about more later in this video. And I might be saying things that you might not want to hear, but you probably shouldn't. If that's one of you, then you definitely need to pay attention to this video. But before we jump into that, I really want to talk about a photo service that I'm offering called Photo Critiques. Photo Critiques are essentially a service where you send in your photos to me, I go ahead, review them, and I give you my 2 cents of what I think can be improved and so forth. And I'm really excited to announce this because I have been a professional photographer for the past couple years and doing landscape for the past 7 years, and I really think I can help take your photography to the next level. So if you are interested, please feel free to check out the link in the description bar below to see what photo critiques are and just find out more in detail if they fit for you and the different price points and so forth. Now, I'm gonna say it, but buying more camera gear does not make you a better photographer. There's so many other factors that come into making great landscape photography. For example, of course, the gear is a part of it, but the location shooting on, how your composition skills are, your editing skills, and what techniques you know in order to create great landscape images. And honestly, camera gear is only a small portion of that. When it comes to landscape photography, we don't actually need that much camera gear. All you really need in terms of pure needs to actually get great landscape images is a camera, one wide-angle lens preferably, and then ND filters and a tripod, and that's honestly it. And I feel like we like to overcomplicate things, but I feel like we have to have the latest and greatest in order to create better images. But when I think about camera gear and where we've evolved till now, like we were able to create amazing landscape images back in the day with an SLR, and that's a 10 or 15-year-old product. But nowadays, with all the mirrorless cameras and stuff, we've gotten lighter, more efficient, and better image quality overall. But that doesn't mean that our photos are necessarily going to be better. And I think that's something that we really need to separate in terms of when it comes to creating great landscape images. Because there's really only so much benefit that you get after buying another piece of gear. And this is called marginal return, in the sense that when you actually buy another piece of gear, when you go from 0 piece of gear to 1, that's a huge terms of benefit. But if you go from like 10 to 11 in terms of buying another lens, you only get a very, very marginal amount of return on your investment. And that's the thing, is that when you reach that level, the more camera gear you buy is just wasting money at that point. You won't get as much benefit, and you won't be able to really allocate those resources towards other things that might actually improve your photography. So instead of buying that new lens, how about we take that money and allocate it towards using it towards a landscape photography trip instead? Now, like I said before, a big part of your landscape images, how good they are, is where you shoot as well, because you can be an amazing landscape photographer, but if you're put in a position to fail and you're not in a location that's very aesthetically pleasing or just doesn't have good subject matters in general, you're just not going to get great landscape images no matter how good of a photographer you are. Where you are shooting at really affects how the images are going to come out. And I'd rather be spending the money I would get for using it on landscape photography gear to instead spending it on vacations and trips where I'm actually going to go out and experience the world. One of my favorite things that I love to do is go out and shoot national parks, because for me, that's one of my goals in life. I want to go to all the national parks in the United States, but we don't really get the opportunity all that often because maybe financial reasons or timing issues. But if we're going to buy a new piece of gear, we should just use that money for that trip instead. We can get better images. We can go out and experience the world more. And isn't that our jobs as landscape photographers, to go out and experience the world and capture so that people can enjoy it and enjoy what the world has to offer? And you would just get far more value out of going out on a trip and capturing things and actually practicing landscape photography, because it doesn't matter if you have all this gear if we're not going to go out and shoot. It just simply doesn't matter at all. So please, 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 please do not feel like you have to upgrade to the latest and greatest. The gear you have right now will do you wonders and help you to capture the exact thing that you want. I really am an advocate for being a minimalist photographer, only carrying what you need and capturing just amazing moments, because that's what photography is all about, capturing amazing moments rather than just getting a bunch of gear. So yeah, guys, honestly, that's it for today's video. It's nothing crazy. I just really want to talk about, photography gear versus, going out on trips, because I feel like some people need to hear that. Don't spend all of your money on photography gear. It's not gonna make you a better photographer. Going out on landscape photography trips instead will actually make your photography better. But of course, like, there's a caveat, like if you don't have any gear, like, please make sure you have an established kit first of camera gear that you can rely on and will last you a long time. I mean, I'll put up here, what my gear is and what my kit is, so you can kind of see what that looks like. But of course, like, once you have an established kit and you have gear that you're very happy and comfortable with, don't spend it on more gear. Just go out and experience the world. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for experiencing the world with me today by watching this video. And if you're interested in photo critiques and improving your photography overall, please check it out in the description bar below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.